Welcome or welcome back to the Lawkward Chronicles. My name is Larissa, and today we have our book club episode for Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes. Grab yourself a cup of tea so we can spill the tea, or some snacks too, or snacks. I made some s'mores cookies for this book club. Get in some cozy clothes, because we're going to discuss. And with this being the book club episode, there will be spoilers. If you do not want spoilers for Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes, please go check out my reading blog, which is spoiler free, before coming into this. If you do not want spoilers, do I need to say it again? Please exit out before this discussion, because there are spoilers in this video. Thanks, bye. So this month's, what month is it? March book club pick was Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes, and wow, what a lovely found friendship, female empowerment book this was. It's more of a general women's fiction about making decisions as a woman for yourself instead of piling everything on as we tend to do in certain situations. Also, this was dealing with women in their mid-40s, so a bit older of a generation, and all of the things that encompass that. Society often overlooks, I feel like, women in their 40s. You know, 30, flirty and thriving is the 30s, but once you hit 40s, I feel like most women 40s and beyond just all of a sudden turn invisible to society, which is super weird. I have some questions. I got them from Penguin Random House, and I will post all the questions down below along with the link to the site in case you wanted to go check out their blog post. And then with that, feel free to answer any of them in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinions and your takes on things. And also, what are you eating? What are you drinking right now? What snack did you choose? These just came out of the oven. So happy. Let's have a little nibble. So good. S'mores are my favorite dessert, you guys. FYI. So s'mores cookies, the way I make them, they're pretty good. Nisha Cantor and Sam Kemp are two very different women. Nisha lived in the globetrotting life of the seriously wealthy until her husband inexplicably announced he wanted a divorce and cut her off entirely. Nisha is glamorous, fearless, and determined to hang on to the life she has created for herself. But in the meantime, she must scramble to adjust to an entirely new landscape. She doesn't even have the shoes she was in a moment ago standing in. That's because Sam, at the bleakest point of her life, has accidentally taken Nisha's gym bag. But Sam hardly has time to worry about something as petty as a lost bag. She's struggling to keep herself, her out-of-work husband, and her sarcastic teenage daughter afloat. Or is it petty? When she tries on Nisha's 6-inch high Christian Louboutin red crocodile shoes for a series of important meetings, the unexpected results give her a jolt of confidence that makes her realize something must change, and that thing is herself. When the two women finally meet, they will discover that each needs the other to put right the wrongs that have been done to them and to the women around them, from Nisha's enterprising colleague Jasmine to Sam's steadfast best friend Andrea. Now we get both perspectives of Sam and Nisha, but also Sam's husband Phil, which I thought was a strange addition to the POVs, but I'm happy about it because Phil is going through depression. Like, he has depression, and he is experiencing the side effects of just wanting to sleep, being too tired to do anything, like those very big real things that are happening. And that leaves Sam to do everything, pretty much everything. And her daughter is there, and she's 19, still living at the house, but doesn't seem to take much action into maintaining the house, or at least not from the perspective. Maybe she does a lot more than we think, besides let the dog out occasionally, but I'm not really sure. All right, let's get into the questions, and then we'll talk about some of my favorite parts. So first question, Sam and Nisha are very different women. Nisha lives a life of luxury and privilege. Sam is struggling to make ends meet and always has. And yet both of them share the quality of grit, of determination that sees each of them through hard times. In Nisha's case, she is also fueled by anger. Do you think that's true of Sam as well? And is that common among the women you know? Personally, I think, okay, so Nisha just, she's scary. Nisha's scary, and when she's angry, whew, it comes off very rude, very brash. Yeah, terrifying, honestly. I think Sam's anger is very different. It's more internally based. I think her anger is more, takes the silent role of resentment. Nisha's is more of like what we tend to see, or the stereotypical signs of anger, like abrupt outbursts, name calling. But Sam's is more repressed, kind of comes out differently. Like Phil notices that she just sighs anytime comes home, asks him to do anything. She just sighs when he hasn't. And I think that's her form of anger. It's more of a disappointment. I think a lot of women hold a lot of anger like Sam's, very repressed deep down, because they're trying to be the supportive spouse. They're trying to take care of the family. So women bear a lot of like the emotional aspect of things. Yeah, and we're not always the best at advocating for when we need help. I think it is getting a lot better, but it's still definitely, I know growing up, so many families were like this, where the women just took the brunt of it and didn't speak up, and hosted a lot of resentment, which came out later in their life, especially in the retired ages. Were you surprised when you learned Nisha's own history and how she became the wife of an extremely wealthy man? I initially thought that was going to be how it was, but the way Nisha acted, I was like, oh, there's no way she's ever done anything service related in her whole life. So I was surprised, because it really threw me off on how she was treating other people. Just the lack of compassion that she showed towards working class members was just really frustrating and sad to see. Also, the fact that she struggled to clean at first when she started working as the maid. I feel like that's a skill you just don't forget, especially if you had been a maid previously. Sam's work situation is sadly still all too common for working women. Have you ever been in a work situation where you felt unfairly judged, especially for being a woman? And if so, how did you manage it? I've been very, very lucky with every place of employment I've worked. I've mainly worked for female employers, not by like any certain circumstances. I've also worked for a handful of male employers too. And I've just been very lucky that I've had very respectful employers. I've really lucked out, to be honest, and all of them have been very supportive. There was just like one place of employment that I worked where they didn't respect work-life boundaries and just expected you to work all the time. So that wasn't fun. I didn't like that place. My boss was really awesome, and she worked tireless hours too. And I think it was just expected in that corporation. I thankfully have never experienced anything like Sam, not even close. What she was going through with her boss was disgusting. Her boss, I wish she would have reported her boss to HR immediately, because that is so inappropriate, or somebody should have. Somebody should have done something. I don't know. 4, what did you think about Sam and Phil's marriage? Did you think she should have let herself pursue a possible love affair with Joel, or did you feel she and Phil were going to rekindle the spark of their relationship? Their relationship is very complicated, and I'm assuming it's like this or something similar feelings to someone in a similar relationship. It was really hard to read about, with how much Sam is taking on and how she's trying to continue to lift up Phil, and he just doesn't want to. I've never had depression, so I don't know to this extent. I've been burnt out and very tired, but I have not, thankfully, gone through this form of a depressive episode. And I have a lot of similar thoughts that Sam is having, where she is resentful of him and taking on so much work, both at her job and at home, and still trying to be a supportive partner as well as a supportive friend. and feeling like she has zero support, and she's also trying to take care of her parents who are constantly calling her to do things for free, and she's just taking on so much emotional labor. I mean, prior to that, it was spoken how like great he was, what an important partner, and how much love they had for each other, which is really hard, I think, to see in somebody once you've had those good times with them. It was really hard. I feel so bad for Sam and for Phil, obviously, but like I think I relate more to Sam. Like, I can see where her thought patterns are coming from. I do not like a cheating trope. I do not like cheating at all in anything, but it was also really difficult not to root for that potential affair just because she wasn't getting any form of relationship. I mean, there really was no relationship between her and Phil. They were married only on paper at that point. There wasn't anything going on. So it was really, really hard to see her light up and feel like somebody was actually paying attention to her and acknowledging her existence, and to not root for something like that. I honestly didn't think they would her and Phil would rekindle their romance. I thought they were going to potentially get a divorce or something, or she was going to cheat and then get the divorce because she was potentially in love with this other guy. Obviously that didn't happen. They are working it out, which is great. I am glad that happened, and I'm glad Phil finally went and talked with someone to express these emotions and to potentially get Sam's side, because they were not communicating effectively. And that kind of snapped him out of it a little bit. Question 5. This book is about nothing if not about female friendships. What did you like best about the relationships among the women? Who was the character you liked best, and which one did you relate to most? I love how all these women are through different walks of life, but the kinship they feel to each other as women, bringing them together and having compassion for the other, even if they don't understand their circumstances, was just wonderful to see. I just loved it, that it was immediately like women supporting women. Even when Nisha confronted Sam and was blatantly rude and awful, and then as they begin to walk in and the whole explosion, and then Nisha finally like warms up to Sam, that was huge. I really loved Jasmine. Jasmine reminds me of my bestie, and she is just so helpful. Will give you the shirt off your back, will help you get back onto your feet, and is so giving, but yet will give you the hard truth, and when you are out of line, she will call you out for it. And I love that in both Jasmine and my bestie. Jasmine was so fantastic. What a strong, strong woman, but with so much compassion and so much love. And so freaking hardworking. There was a time where I related to Sam more. I think if I would have kept on the trajectory that my life was heading, I would have ended up like Sam and related to her so, so much more. I've always been someone that would like put way too much on my plate and burn out very quickly and snap, and it's exactly what happened to Sam. And I really try to not do that anymore. I recognize when I need rest. That came with a lot of bad experience of putting too much on my plate, emotional and career-wise and school-wise and all of it. There definitely was a time when I related most to Sam. However, I think I relate most to Andrea, just with her humor in difficult situations and always having a positive outlook and a bright side to go to. She is just so funny and silly, and even though she's going through such a hard time, she continues to be there for Sam and tries to take a little bit of that burden off that she's having through her marriage. And I like to think that I am like that as well. Oh, is this out of focus? Focus back in. I don't know how long that was for, sorry. Question 6. When asked about her inspiration for this book, Jojo Moyes said, like many people, I've had a tough couple of years, and I found myself being drawn to books, movies, and television that were lighter and that took me out of myself for an hour or two and maybe left me feeling a little bit better for it. Have you ever had a similar experience with the entertainment you seek out? Did this book provide it? It is no question that I read for escapism. I have said it multiple times. I read a lot because I like to have that as my escape mechanism, and I also watch my TV shows and movies when I do watch that kind of entertainment for that purpose of just forgetting everything and just being a potato and zoning out for that long. So yes, I definitely like that form of entertainment best, is when I can go elsewhere. Sam feels that she has lost herself among the demands of her family. It's not until she starts to box, learns to trust her own skills at work, and develops a solid group of friends that she truly feels confident. Do you ever feel lost among the responsibilities that weigh on you? What do you do to feel like yourself again? Being an adult, it comes with a lot more responsibility that we're ever prepared for and expect. It takes a lot to run a household, to work, to have a social life, to have passions and hobbies, and it can be a lot at times. I really try hard to do something, one thing minimum a day that will fill my cup, whether that's reading or working out or checking out. In the summer, I love to go check out different parks, just to either walk around or sit and read at, enjoy the views. I am an extrovert by nature. Doing things with other people really does help fill my cup, whether that's just hanging out with one of my friends for a movie night, catching up, going for a walk with one of my friends, going to play volleyball, which is why I play so much volleyball and pickleball. But I think the most important is to connect with somebody. I feel like myself, I try to do things that, like a favorite things day is my favorite things to do. So I just do my favorite things. I choose all my, like a few of my favorite things to do, and I do them all day. And that's a favorite things day, and that's great. And I got that from Michelle B here on YouTube. She's fantastic, especially for like habits and organizational tips. I love her channel. It's just so like aesthetically pleasing and calming and peaceful. Oh, I love watching her. Question 8. After successfully negotiating her first deal while wearing the red crocodile shoes, Sam worries that she's letting down the sisterhood by using the sexiness of her new appearance to her advantage at work. What do you think? Is it okay to use appearance-based tactics when it comes to business? Obviously, I don't think it should ever be a factor. However, that's not in the world and society we live in, unfortunately, and our appearances play a lot bigger role into the relationships that we form, into the way we present ourselves, than it needs to be. In this line, yes, I say do what you can that will not get you flagged by HR. So wearing the sexy heels in a suit that makes you feel badass, like obviously go ahead and do it. Anything that's gonna make you build up that confidence. But more importantly, doing something that helps you feel confident will exude that sexiness factor, because confidence is sexy, and that's what gets the deal done. Have you ever worn an outfit or an item of clothing that made you feel powerful? What was it and what changed for you? My first interview that I did for my big girl job out of undergrad, I wore this teal color dress. I still have it. I still love it. It fits so nicely. It is business chic. It's, oh, I just love it so much. And I felt so good in it. I feel powerful when I wear it, and like I am down to business. I just felt like I was both fashionable and high business oriented, and I really loved that. And I ended up getting that job. 10, is Nisha a good mother to Ray? By the end of the book, did he receive the kind of support he needed? Why do you think Juliana was willing to come back into Nisha's life to help Ray? I think Nisha was in a terrible marriage with a controlling and dictating husband, and he manipulated her into thinking what she was doing was best for Ray. I think she did her best in the circumstances that were happening, and she loves Ray, obviously. So I think it will be better now that they are going to be on their own. I think in the end Ray did get the support that he needed. because he just wanted his mom to be there. He wanted to get out of that school that he was in and just feel loved and wanted. And I think that's exactly what he got. Juliana is also a mother now, and I think she was able to put herself in Nisha's shoes, as well as just realize Ray is what's important and making sure he is okay. That's more important than how they were not friends anymore. She's a real one. This isn't part of the Penguin Random question, but like, I'm curious. Please answer down in the comments below. If Nisha gave you a diamond to exchange, what was it for, like $8,000 or something? What would you spend it on? Would you save it? Would you invest it? What would you do with it? Personally, I would I would take 10% and blow it on whatever I want, whether that's books or probably books, let's be real, or decor or something that I would not buy for myself. The rest of the money, I'd probably save half of it and then put the other half towards my student loans, because I got a lot of those, yay. So that's what I would do with the money. A little bit of fun and a lot of it responsible. My notes on this are some things that there were so many, but I was so engrossed in the story that I didn't write everything down. But a few things that I really loved was Jasmine coming to get Nisha on her day off, so Nisha had somewhere to stay. I just loved that. Jasmine is just a real one. She's just amazing. And I loved when Andrea passed out in the thrift store so Sam could snag that paper to find the address where that woman lives, where she bought the shoes. And also that woman putting the cat in the garbage. Like, what the hell? Who does that? Do people actually do that? That woman made me so mad. I'm so happy they got what's coming towards them. Also, very funny that Nisha got stuck under the bed when they were having sex on the bed. Oh, that was just a disaster. That was such a disaster. Oh man, so funny though. And Sam, quick thinking, pulling the fire alarm. I don't know about you guys, but I would struggle so hard to leave those diamonds. I mean, granted, yeah, she took out, what, three of them? Oh, I would struggle to leave them. Oh, I would want them so much. That was surprising. I thought there was gonna be like a chip or something in the shoes, like some evidence or offshore bank accounts, but the diamonds I did not see coming. That was very random, but also super cool. Just imagine if she would have like lost those shoes when they were happily married and together. Ooh, he would have been pissed. I would say my rating is probably like between a 3.5 and a 4. I'm gonna run it up to 4 stars. That's what I gave it on GOODREADS. I really enjoyed it. I think about it often. I think about the female friendships. I love the female friendships. I think it also represents women very well, especially women in their 40s, which we do not see very often. And it covers so many hard, heavy topics. And I feel like Miss Moyes did it very well. I really love Jojo Moyes as a writer. I would love to read more of her catalog. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed this book club. Hope your tea hasn't gone cold like mine has. And with that being said, respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks, bye.